Hey my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Fiona's Coffee Talks. As per usual, thank you so much for tuning in and don't forget to subscribe. So this is the second part or an addendum to my previous video on dating and intimacy. So let's just dive right into it. So as you know, with my history, I don't have a lot of luck in terms of long-term relationships. I've had a lot of intense 6-month to 1-year relationships. And as I said in my previous video, dating is hard. So those of you, again, who are with someone, good for you. Hold on to them, because to go back out there, it gets a little harder. So my experience has been that, yeah, I've had these wonderful relationships that have lasted like a year, and then I've had a lot of, hooking up, for lack of a better term. That's where the intimacy or the sex comes in, and these stories that tend to be kind of out there. So I'm gonna mention a few of like key points in that part of my world that have just been incredible. Seems like all of them happen outside of New York. So, when you're traveling, there's something to be said about traveling, because you're like the new meat on the market, and, you just have this glow about you when you're on vacation, and I think people find you that much more appealing because you are on vacation. So about 20 years ago, I went to Australia, went there for a month, and I went to Melbourne, Brisbane, Noosa, Sydney. Sydney was the highlight for me. Sydney, there's something about the people there that are all beautiful, male, female, gay, straight, it doesn't matter. It must be something in the water. But the highlight, sexually speaking, of that trip was one afternoon/evening I went to their bathhouse, and I was there for a solid 5 hours. I remember from 5 to 10, and in those 5 hours, I was with 6 of, probably to date, the hottest, most beautiful men I have ever been with. All of them my ideal type: older, bigger, hunky, nice bodies, well hung tops. And so I would be with one for like 45 minutes and be exhilarated and done, and then go shower up, and as I was showering I'd meet the next one, and that went on one right after the other for basically 5 hours. And I remember that feeling when I was done with it all of, I cannot even believe that this just happened, because nothing like that has ever happened since. And I remember feeling like I was floating on the ground, like floating in the air. I couldn't even feel the ground. I was so on this high of euphoria that I've never been able to recreate that feeling. I mean, yeah, to a certain degree, but that level of that quality of man and the quantity in that period of time was what was quite incredible. Even for myself, I was like, I'm pretty out there, but I was like, wow, I can impress myself. Another similar incident was when I was in Amsterdam. Again, these hunky, big built men, and that also took place at a bathhouse. Apparently I'm not opposed to bathhouses, huh? And that was, in that place, I was only there for literally an hour and a half. It's like I had an hour and a half to kill, and I was like, oh, there's a bathhouse, let me check it out. And I went, and in that hour and a half, I met 3 or 4 different guys that were all just blew my socks off, because I was like, where did all of these fine men come from, and why don't they live in New York City, for God's sakes? Son, I would have been married. I would have married all of them, actually, but even just one would have been fine. But that experience, too, was kind of out of this world. And then last but not least, a few years ago, about 6-7 years ago, when I was living in Palm Springs, there was a similar situation where there was this little party going on at one of these clothing optional gay guest houses, and I remember I started at 12 midnight that day, and pretty much didn't finish till 5 in the afternoon the next day. It was a Friday night into Saturday, and I just remember thinking, oh my God, it was incredible, because the quality of the people that were there and the handful of guys that I chose to be intimate with were great. I mean, at one point I was even ended up in the sling, and sling out, sister. Who don't love a sling, right? But so those were like the three highlights sexually speaking. And then in terms of romance, there's a handful of my exes. Actually, all of my exes, were all wonderful. I could honestly say that in all of my cases of dating, none of them ever ended like on a bad note, because like either they did something fucked up or I did something to ruin it, or it just things come to an end. Unfortunately, like all things in life, sometimes things fizzle out. That's why divorce is so high. Even now with the gay marriages, suddenly I'm hearing of all of these guys that were like so quick to get married, and that's only been legal since 2015, and here it is 4.5 years later, and I'm hearing of all of these couples that are divorcing. So, I don't know. Am I missing out on anything by not being married? No, maybe. Who knows? I know I'm not missing out on life. God knows I'm enjoying myself, and as hard as dating can be, it's also fun, it's exciting. There's always that hope when you meet someone that, maybe this will be the one. I still kind of get excited when I do actually meet someone and there's a potential there of what may or may not become of it. So tell me your thoughts, guys. How adventurous are you? How is dating for you? Are you loving it? Are you not loving it? Are you, I hear other people say, "Oh, I'm over dating. I'm never gonna get married. I don't want to be with anyone." They'd rather just sleep around and not be committed to anyone. That's fine too. I do that to a certain degree. Well, to a large degree, and I don't judge. So if someone is a bit promiscuous or not, or they give it away or they charge or whatever, that's good. So long as you are not harming anyone or yourself, and you are keeping your karma clean, then all of it is good. And who am I to judge? Who is anyone to judge, really? So, but give me your thoughts on that. Let's further elaborate on this. I want to hear your experiences. So, again, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to do another one soon on online dating, because that's a whole other situation in itself. But thanks for tuning in. Listen to me. Tuning in. Girl, my mouth is dry. There's that Kahlua again. So, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Fiona's Coffee Talk. Subscribe. Bye.